All right, guys, hello and welcome. We have another blue carbon cup set to cast. We're casting everything in the round of 16 and up. Casting is not really my thing. I guess I'm okay at it. I've been told that I'm good at it, but I'd rather spend my time doing other things. But the blue carbon cup is special, so that's why we're casting it. It's got some pretty cool maps in it. The maps are intelligently designed to incorporate water and a lot of seagrass and mangrove regions that are important for ecological preservation. And so I find that very interesting. So I agreed to cast. Today we've got Rayz against MrOsoVC8. Rayz is in TAG, whatever that is. It's his clan. And I actually have heard of Combi. They are a Latin American clan because I am in a similar time zone to them. So Rayz is a Taiwanese player, and I believe that that is the flag of Mexico there for Mr. Oso. As you can see, we've got their... Wait a second. What is this? The apple mangrove? That's not an animal. You can't have a plant be your spirit animal. What is that? He's messing with me. All right, so apparently Rayz doesn't have a spirit animal. He is representing a tree called the apple mangrove, which grows in tropical tidal mudflats from Africa to Indonesia, to northeast Australia, to New Caledonia, to the South China Sea, and the Philippines. It is mostly at the forefront with higher salinity and water movement. It grows to be more than 20 feet tall, and it has thick aerial roots. Mangroves are important barriers against storms, water purifiers, carbon capturers, and nurseries. All kinds of animals live in these mangrove trees. Whereas Mr. Oso's spirit animal, the proper animal, this is a mangrove crab. Basically, you have to look at it like crustaceans, crabs, lobsters, shrimps, those sorts of things. They're underwater bugs, except this guy is terrestrial. He lives on coasts from the East Africa to North Australia, primarily in these mangrove forests. They are nocturnal and they hide in burrows during the day. They feed on vegetation and debris, especially the leaves of the white mangrove. They modify the particle size, nutrient availability, and particle distribution, redox reactions, organic matter. So apparently they do something with the dirt to make it better. They rely heavily on coastal depth and surface temperature, and they are threatened by coastal development. So, now that we know about the spirit animals or spirit plant, let us take a look at these players' profiles. So, this is Rayz's profile. You would never be able to tell. But apparently this is, I got this came up from the previous page in which it did have Rayz. He is number 136 in the world, so he is about 2.2K. So he's a pretty tough guy. And MrOsoVC8 is about 2.2K as well. Maybe a little bit less. Maybe 2.15, but somewhere in that range. So this should be a pretty competitive matchup, you guys. Their first map is Typhoon. So let's go ahead and dial up the volume here and we will get started. All right, so Typhoon is an interesting map. There is a lot of forward gold. However, I believe the stone, yeah, here's the stone. The stone is all on the outermost ring. There is a mid-ring that has plentiful fish in it. Looks like we got ourselves some marlins. No, they're dolphins. Never mind. They are dolphins. And some snappers. Could be some good laming opportunities on this map, given how close the players start together. Mr. Oso is pushing in a deer, and here he comes. He wants to lame Rayz's boar. But Rayz is paying attention. Look at this. He's going to see it. He's going to attempt to block the villager. Now that we got a scout fight, he's trying his best to block the villager. Is this villager going to go down? already we see a lot of action, and indeed that villager goes down. MrOso is now going to try to bring the boar in with his own scout, and Rayz is attempting to block. Scout gets hit. He will get the boar. So he'll get the boar. He lost a villager, but he'll at least get the boar. Dang. The game is off to some action already. Okay, who has more health on their scout? Oh, definitely Rayz. MrOso just wanted to keep his scout alive so he could continue to push deer. And MrOso is gonna sneak loom in here at 10 population. He's not housed, but maybe he plans on doing some more dangerous things with his villagers. If he had gotten loom, maybe his villager would still be alive if he had loom. Rayz is not going to take any chances. He's going to get this boar in as quickly as possible before MrOso decides that he wants more boar meat. So we have 4. So we have 4 on wood for MrOso. This would suggest a tower rush of some kind. Yeah, you can't fight that. Rayz is going to deny any further deer pushing, which is unfortunate for MrOso. But MrOso did get the extra boar. He's got this one still here rotting, but he's going to take this one in anyway just because he doesn't want his opponent laming him. So he's got lots of rotting meat under the town center. How are we doing for idle time? MrOso, very fast player. He's only got 3 seconds of idle time for all of that chaos, whereas Rayz has 18. All right, so he's fishing here. It looks like MrOso is saving up the wood to build a dock. There's the dock. Is Rayz going to dock? Yes, they are both docking around the same time. It's kind of an interesting decision. Do you dock this and do you take advantage of having an extra town center working with more villagers, or do you just try to mill this and get as much as you can with the mill? So we got 5 on wood here for Rayz, and we have 4 on wood here for MrOso. I believe that they are actually both Dravidians, which is interesting, and it's actually possible because it's free pick, no repeat. So they were both thinking the same thing for this map. This is a Dravidians map, this one right here. So I would argue that MrOso did not really damage Rayz from that lane, because Rayz is not only able to push his own deer in, but he's able to deny or push in MrOso's deer. Rayz is actually out here with a villager. He lamed these deer, and it looks like he is collecting some deer meat to bring back, but he did leave this one deer alive. Maybe the deer ran away and he didn't see it, or he didn't feel like following it. So there is one deer left over there. And I believe, Rayz, neither player is on their way up to the feudal age. They are fishing. They both have 5 villagers on wood. This is not much of a wood line right here. This is pretty small. I'm hoping that the players will head out here. I do not believe that this is navigable back here. I think that this is the non-navigable version of this DLC wet beach. Okay, Rayz is going to push this deer in. So he left that deer so that he could push it in, perhaps. Rayz is almost able to click up. There we go. He's got the food. He clicks up now. Has to idle his town center a little bit. MrOso is also on his way up. And what are we going to see here? Well, he's on gold, and Rayz is also on gold. So maybe they'll do some kind of galley rush. Try to sink each other's fishing ships. Pretty classic. Although, we have a barracks coming down from Ray. So, maybe he's going to go archers or something. Get in there on the wood line. I mean, just one tower would cause huge disruption. Could you imagine if Rayz got to the feudal age significantly before MrOso and built a tower here, before MrOso could even attempt to build a tower? That would be pretty special. But alas, they're going to be in the feudal age at the same time, which is actually a good thing. We don't want one player to run away with the game. We want a nice long game that goes all the way to Imperial Age. It means that the map is balanced, and that we get to see all kinds of options. We want action. We don't want to skip the first 3 ages. But we definitely would love to see a competitive set. So Mr. Rayz is putting down a second dock here, and they are now feudal age. Scout cavalry under attack. And Mr. Oso is also putting down a second. These guys are just kind of copying each other. It's sort of funny. Mr. Oso waiting until now to put down his barracks, but it's the same idea. Both players are going to have 2 docks, 1 barracks, but Rayz's got his militia out, and Mr. Oso is going to have to relocate. He builds a palisade wall there just to prevent the militia from getting over here. But yeah, here comes the tower. So Mr. Oso decides not to contest this wood line. He's just going to let his opponent have it. This is dangerous. His opponent could build another tower here and basically lock down all of the gold in the middle. I mean, there's still 800 gold here, but he needs to be very careful. All right, fire galleys are coming out. Oh no, don't tell me this fire galley is trapped here. That would be very unfortunate. How are we doing for Rayz? Rayz is building a 3rd dock now, but he does not have many fire ships. Okay, so they both have 3 docks. We got Dravidian man-at-arms here. And I guess we just... Oh, garrison, 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 garrison. No! Oh boy. Yeah, this is not good. These man-at-arms are quite dangerous. I guess he's not going to fight it. The scout is weak, and the villagers are very numerous. So instead, these man-at-arms, Rayz decides are going to go and attack the fishing ships. So Mr. Oso is going to fish from a different location, maybe in some deep water. This villager is going to be a dead villager, though. He's going to get in front of the villager with the scout, block it, and then it'll go down to the man-at-arms. So, Mr. Oso, though, has gotten some good damage in with these fire ships, it seems. He sunk some fishing ships, and now he's running. Looks like there was another fight here. Scout went down. The man-at-arms are just going to attack the dock now. And this man-at-arms is going to destroy this lumber camp. Fourth dock coming down for Rayz. So Rayz has a military advantage over Mr. Oso by 2 units, but Mr. Oso is a villager ahead, perhaps. They're very close in economy. They're destroying each other's junks, which is funny. Okay, I'm not sure where that villager went, or where this man-at-arms went. Maybe he went somewhere else. Ah, okay, he's coming up here. Harassing the wood line. Mr. Oso has an archer out to help against these man-at-arms. These man-at-arms do not want to fight the fire ships. They're going to attack the archer instead. I gotta confess, I do not know much about Dravidians. All I know is they're one of those OP new Indian civs. So I've never played them. Ooh, we have a demolition raft here from Mr. Oso. I don't know where that's going to really see much action. I guess he could use it to blow up some fire ships later. So Rayz is focused on galleys, and it looks like he is using villagers to take this fish. He did not have to build this mill here, though, because villagers can drop off their fish at docks. Makes sense, right? Fishing ships can do it. Why not villagers? So they are basically going opposite directions around this center, and they are going to pressure each other's fishing economies. Although there isn't anything up here for Mr. Oso, but it is going up there. These galleys are going to find those fishing ships. Yeah, so Rayz with the attack of the fire ships on this side and the attack of the galleys on the other side. He's definitely invested more into water control. And Mr. Oso is going to lose his ships. Mr. Oso taking wood here And what does he even have in terms of resources? It seems like he's broke. They both have 900 gold. They're just amassing as much gold as possible right now. I wonder if that's like intentional since they're both doing it. Demolition raft here and fire galley here. Mr. Oso deciding to respond, although he's got a couple fires out now working on these galleys. They're low health. Market coming up. I would just hate to see somebody buy 800 food, you know, given that this is basically all of the gold on the map. Okay, Rayz is expanded out to take some berries over here. I think that is a good choice. I think maybe this would have been better, or you know, somewhere in here, maybe build some walls and wall off a corner of the map for yourself. Another tower coming down. This one will deny all of the gold in the middle, and it'll deny this other desired lumber camp from Mr. Oso. But Mr. Oso coming out here to take wood, and yes, sure enough, we see some market action. Rayz has a lot less gold than before, and he had a lot more food because he just clicked up to Castle Age. So they both abuse the market to click up to Castle Age. So they're playing very similarly. They're playing very similarly. One simply invested into more ships, and the other invested into archers. So that's kind of the difference here. These archers are not really going to find much damage, though. There's 2 towers here, and there's only 4 archers. So, I mean, he might have to re-lumber camp right here, but it's not a very big deal. Yeah, so what? Let him in. Doesn't matter. There's a tower here. The real risk is if Mr. Oso finds this down here. That's going to be the problem. Now, Rayz does have some galleys patrolling, but it looks like they're actually headed out here, which could be a mistake. Mr. Oso might come and find these villagers on the outside. Okay, so they are Castle Age now, or at least Rayz is in Castle Age. Mr. Oso will be right behind. Mr. Oso just getting fletching now. That gives you an idea of how tight resources are. And Mr. Oso is out of gold. He can't take gold anymore. So here's what Mr. Oso needs to do. He needed to build a mining camp here, take a bunch of stone, and then drop a castle. Oh, interesting. He's actually going to drop a town center here. All right, well, let's hope that Rayz doesn't up the bid here and build a castle. We see that there is a siege workshop coming up for Rayz. A mangonel will not be ready for these villagers in time, but this town center will have the ability to range both of these towers if he's able to force it up. He's got to send every villager in his empire to build it. But assuming he can force it up, he can shoot down both of these towers. Just going to build the stable, a Dravidian stable. Feels bad. But I guess it's like one building he doesn't have yet, so might as well, right? He can't really work in here until these towers are dead. And this mangonel is going to chase these weakened archers off. It's just looking to be super annoying. Yep, so Rayz is stockpiling stone now, and he's going to raise the bid here. He may actually even delete this mining camp just to build a castle right here. And a castle right here would pretty much seal the deal. Yep, there it is. The castle right here would seal the deal. And Mr. Oso sees it, and he GGs. He knows he can't stop it. So I think Mr. Oso's mistake was the investment in this town center here. But honestly, it may have just come down to letting a tower get up here and not counter-towering when he had the chance. Because you run out of gold and there's not much you can do, right? He may have been able to take stone and sell stone for a little while, but it's tough. this map tends to end pretty quickly. The games tend to end pretty quickly. So we will give the first win to Rayz here. GG, well played. Let's move on to the first map. The home map for Mr. Oso, which is Water Nomad. Capture Age is loading the game. All right, well, this is going to be fun. I actually have not seen Water Nomad played yet. I mean, it's pretty run-of-the-mill, standard. This is a classic map. Came out with Rise of the Rajas. Rayz is looking to avoid early aggression, so he's kind of building his town center in the middle here. I would assume that he knows about this golden stone here. This map, there's a reason this map is ridiculous. Ships can go anywhere. You can dock. There's beaches. So this is a very ship-heavy map. You can make some land units in some applications, but I really like this starting town center here from Mr. Oso. I always like town centers that are on top of wood lines in Nomad because the villagers have better pathing to chop the wood and drop it off at the town center. Whereas if this is okay too, but if the town center were like right here underneath the wood line, that is generally frowned upon. Which is unfortunate, really. You would think that the town center should be kind of somewhat symmetric, you know, that the building part of the town center would be in the middle and it would have equal spacing around the outside. Mr. Oso has found a ton of water buffaloes here, and Rayz has a similarly large number. It's probably going to take a couple. It's going to get a dock up, and they're going to start fish booming. They are going to start fish booming. Both of them. So what happens on this map? Basically, I think what'll happen is somebody may go a demolition raft and try to blow up the demolition raft on somebody's wood line and kill 15 lumberjacks, 10 or 15 lumberjacks. That's why this map is not really competitive, I think. A lot of people feel this map isn't competitive. It's because of that phenomenon. But this was included because it's a classic. You know, this map is an old map. And it takes us back to happier, simpler times. So we'll see though. Maybe these guys will make it competitive. Maybe this will be just super balanced. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that we're going to see much other than ships here? I think that we'll only see ships, personally. They've already built a dock. I mean, maybe somebody will make some knights, but I think this is going to be a ship battle because the ships are just so cost effective. So still only one dock from both players. So Rayz has found Mr. Oso. He's going to take these water buffaloes. Doesn't want Mr. Oso to have them. Yeah, he knows where Mr. Oso is from his scouting. Let's see if Mr. Oso knows where Rayz is. No, he has not found him yet. Actually, no, he has. He's found a dock. And he sees some water buffaloes moving in. So you can assume that the water buffaloes will be sent to the town center. He may not have caught those water buffaloes specifically. Rayz is on his way up to the feudal age with a Lithuanian resource bonus. They have more resources. However, Mr. Oso is on his way up to the feudal age, and he's actually going to be up shortly after Rayz, because even though he couldn't click up earlier because he didn't have the resources, Malay advanced faster. So he's not as far behind as it might look. And yeah, sure enough, coming over here to gold, and Mr. Oso is going to build another dock. So we're going to have 2 docks versus 2 docks. The players are very much mirroring each other at this juncture. Let's see how many does Mr. Oso has 3 on gold. Rayz has 4, but it's the same, pretty much the same plan. Get up to the feudal age quickly and make fire ships. Somebody might make a demo ship to help them win a fire ship battle, and then if they're not able to use it well, then they might try to sneak it onto a wood line. And although in my mind, in my head, I know that it would be bad for such a fire ship to find a wood line and blow up 10 villagers at once. In my heart, I would love to see it. I'd be like, oh yeah. Okay, no, Rayz, Lithuanians, he's going for galleys. Interesting. They're both going galleys. Okay. They're going for galleys, you guys. I was expecting fire ships, but nope, it's galleys. So Mr. Oso does not want to ungarrison here. Does not quite have the numbers. He's going to ungarrison this just to keep those galleys a little bit busy. He has to relocate his fishing ships, but Rayz is going to find them. It's a shame that there aren't as many provisions for protecting ships as there are villagers, given that ships are just as important as villagers. And is Rayz going to get every single one of these fishing ships? He very well might. It seems that he has fletching. No, he does not have fletching. But he still managed to get 3 fishing ships, which is impressive. So that will hurt Mr. Oso. So Mr. Oso does not have fletching, and Rayz does not have fletching. Neither player has fletching yet. They're just microing galleys. So remember that this is Mr. Oso's home map. He lost the first match, and so he had a choice of what map do you want to play. And here's the junk absorbing some free hits. Now that's handy. So this is getting walled off. Blacksmith will come up. Mr. Oso will try to get fletching to give himself an advantage. Rayz already has fletching on the way, which is unfortunate for Mr. Oso. I'm surprised that they didn't go fires. Fires are better in low numbers. They both expected to mass these ships. And Rayz's economy is untouched. So he does have that as an advantage. So Mr. Oso getting fletching. Mr. Oso is, I think, doing a good job of slowly collecting his ships and trying to build this galley mass up. He has 2 docks compared to Rayz also having, well, Rayz has 3 docks. Oh no, Mr. Oso has 3 docks as well. They are the same. They are mirrored. Now, he does not want to let Rayz get in on this gold. That would be a disaster. He has to fight here. And luckily for him, he's got the numbers too. Just guarding the gold. And that's really what he needs to do. He just needs to have that gold working until he can catch up. He's got 4 galleys in the queue and 10 galleys on the field. And the same is true of Rayz. Players are doing a pretty good job to mirror each other. They both have excessive gold. They both hardly have any food. Although Rayz is more heavily on food than Mr. Oso is. Mr. Oso is more heavily on wood. Not wood. No? Okay. They're pretty much the same, except Rayz's fishing ships are still alive. So I'm going to make a prediction now. I'm going to say that because Rayz has so many more units collecting food, that he will be up to the Castle Age first, and he will win with the War Galley upgrade. That is my prediction. But we will see. Another fishing ship goes down for Mr. Oso. He can't really afford to make fishing ships from these docks because he needs them for galley production. I don't know. Is this game going to come down to whoever has better galley micro? Both players dancing back and forth, trying to get an advantage, trying to kill enemy galleys. And things can snowball really fast. We have 9 galleys versus 9 galleys, essentially, here. We got a junk here just to act as a distraction. Rayz is almost eligible to click up. All right, he has the resources to click up. Will he click up? I predict that he will very soon. He's idling his town center. Why? Why is he idling his town center? At least do something. Okay, they are just both intensely microing their galleys. Maybe that's the reason why their town center idle time is skyrocketing. Mr. Oso with 3 minutes of town center idle time. And Rayz just okay, he's got more villagers queued up. I think he hasn't clicked up to Castle Age because of like panic. Because he's got such intense micro. This could be a huge mistake though. He doesn't realize that Mr. Oso has got this all walled up. And now he can't flee, and it's going to be hard for him to get reinforcements here. So this could have been the throw right here. This is the mistake that will cost him the game. Mr. Oso is on his way up to the Castle Age. Rayz has forgotten to click up, and these galleys are trapped. But Rayz wins? Wait, what? Mr. Oso calling the GG despite trapping Rayz's galley mass? What? What? That was not GG, man. You were on your way up and you were about to destroy your opponent's entire navy. Your opponent was about to have to restart. I don't get it, guys. I don't get it. But then again, I am just a 1300 noob relative to these players. So I don't know, but we'll give another win to Rayz because Mr. Oso resigned, unfortunately. I think this one could have gone on a little bit longer. So we're going to see Mr. Oso's next map, his home map, which is Moria. Let's take a look. So Rayz only needs one more win to win the set. What's going to happen? Is Rayz going to sweep this? So here's Moria. This one has the sea towers that are capturable. And they are sort of guarding, if you will, a lot of shore fish. And there's fish outside. And there's a little bit of fish inside. And you can build more docks out here. This is a pretty aggressive map as well. There's stone in the middle. There is some gold scattered around. In the blue, as Sicilians, we have Rayz. And in the gray, as Mr. Oso, we have the Persians. These shipwrecks have gold in them, which is pretty cute. Makes sense, too. Dock going up for Rayz. Did Rayz build a dock before a lumber camp? Holy crap, he did. He's building a dock and a mill before a lumber camp. What? What is this? Do Sicilians start with some extra wood or something? The devs are constantly changing Sicilians around. They want Sicilians to be the master of transport ships. Alright, and apparently he has built a fishing ship somehow. So don't ask me how he was able to afford all of this. I don't really know. But he's going to have to watch it, and he's going to have to be careful because he's going to get housed here pretty soon if he's not able to build a house. If he doesn't have the wood for a house. But what a weird build. I've never seen anything like that before. I've seen a mill before lumber camp build. In fact, I've done mill before lumber camp. And I've seen the Lithuanian Instadock. Oh no! Rayz laming his own board with the town center arrow fire. That sucks. He doesn't even need Mr. Oso to lame him. Ouch. Well, there go his plans. Whatever they were. Losing a boar is non-trivial. There's a lot of food there. I'm not sure what happened. Maybe Mr. Oso and Rayz were fighting a scout fight and he looked away. And the boar was killed. So naturally, do it again. Oh, and a villager goes down. Mr. Oso is... Wow, he has a huge advantage over Rayz. Rayz is having a terrible game. Lost a villager. Now, fortunately for Rayz, his opponent has 40 seconds of town center idle time compared to his 15. So, you know, that kind of evens out the villagers a little bit by 1. But Rayz has also lost a villager to a boar. So he's lost a boar. He's lost a villager to a boar. He's just had a disastrous Dark Age. And that will have repercussions that will ripple through the entire game. Mr. Oso is fishing. Mr. Oso is at 20 villagers compared to Rayz's 17. Ouch. That hurts. And Rayz only has 1 fishing ship here because he's had to build houses. Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand why the dock and the fishing ship and the mill before the lumber camp. That's really got me scratching my head here. But what do I know? Okay, second dock from Mr. Oso. I don't think Mr. Oso knows about all of Rayz's misfortunes. Although that scout is injured from Rayz, so they've had some kind of scuffle, their scouts. So all that Mr. Oso has to do is not screw up, basically, at this point. And this game is his. Rayz has just had a disastrous game. What? We have a transport ship. Why? Oh, okay. All right. The villagers are coming over here to take advantage of some shorefish. So they will build a dock, and that will be a good drop-off point for all the shorefish. Mr. Oso is on his way up to the feudal age at 30 pop, and Rayz is going to be able to click up soon. He's getting loom first. He's going to hope to vacuum up some of these fish from the ponds and drop them off at the dock. And he has it queued, and yeah, he's on his way up. So we've got 30 pop versus 27 pop. Mr. Oso with a 3 villager lead over Rayz. He's got more ships and he's got more villagers. I think the big thing that this map needs, what would make these towers make sense, is if they were impossible to capture as long as you had a unit inside of them. That would be interesting. But right now, you know, you can basically charge this tower if it belongs to your opponent, And even if your opponent garrisons a bunch of villagers into it and shooting arrows at your ship, and even though the tower does bonus damage against ships, you can still survive a few arrow shots, and then you can get to the base of this tower. And because your opponent's villagers are all inside of the tower, there's nothing outside to keep it captive, and then the tower changes allegiance and spits out the villagers that were in it. So it doesn't really work the way that it was intended. So Mr. Oso getting double bit axe here. Rayz is seeing what Mr. Oso is up to, although it's going to cost him his scout. He did get to feudal age, though, actually. Maybe he will get away. He's running. He's running back to his home. Now, Rayz desires a fast castle, it looks like. He's got the food. He's working on the gold for it. Mr. Oso kills that scout. And what do we got here? Oh, no. Could I be wrong? What is this? Oh, okay. We're gonna see a donjon rush. Now that's fun. Unfortunately, he fails the quick wall here, so this donjon will still go up. This villager will go down. Oh, we got a big villager fight here. Just needs to try to get the donjon up. So this food is for surgeons and blacksmith upgrades. But this donjon will fail, and Rayz calls the GG. It's just not his game. Just not his game. It might have been a little bit different if this quick wall had finished here. But he had a disastrous Dark Age. So Mr. Oso is victorious. Rayz has the first two games. But Rayz has another chance to get the third win in. The final win that he needs in the next game. So let's go check it out. So, Benteng is Rayz's home map, his first home map. So we get to see that. All right, so Rayz playing as the Blue Byzantines, and Mr. Oso playing as the Gray Cumans. This, in my opinion, is a Civ win for Rayz. All he has to do is monk rush Mr. Oso, and he'll have a really good chance. Byzantines make a lot of sense on this map, I think. They have faster attacking fire ships. They get Freetown Watch. They could see a rush coming faster, or sooner rather. Buildings have more health. So let's see the health. Seawalls have 500. Oh, maybe the seawalls are not affected by the Byzantine health bonus. The houses are affected, but the seawalls are not. Oof. That is unfortunate. I wonder if Rayz knew about that. The seawalls are not affected by the Byzantine health bonus. So this is of particular interest to me because I absolutely adore Byzantines. So I'm very curious to see what Rayz will do with them. Taking some wood up there. He's got to build his lumber camp. He's pushing in his deer first, which is smart. Classic arena play. I don't know much about Rayz, you guys. Is Rayz, is he an arena clown? Is he an arena player? Let me know. Okay, we're going to build the lumber camp there. Come on, deer, get into that town center. This all looks very familiar. Okay, what is Mr. Oso doing? They are also just pushing. They're just going to get their deer in first, so they don't have to deal with it. Just more food under the town center. Oh, no! Okay, all right. It wasn't the town center shooting the deer. Yeah, Benteng is the third. I'm sorry, the fourth. Fourth game. All right, boar coming in. House coming up for Rayz. Actually, he is at 13 pop. He's got one military unit. Wait a second. How's he at 13 pop with 13 villagers and one? Oh, you know what? I bet that this trade cart or this junk counts as like a trade cog, and therefore it counts as a villager. So therefore we have to subtract one from these numbers, and that's the actual number of villagers that they have. I did not know that. That's interesting. So faster Imperial could be really good for Rayz. He maybe could build a castle and do like some kind of monk treb build, but we'll see. There's not a lot of fish actually, so there isn't too much benefit to docking and trying to fish boom. You could maybe fish a little bit. So Benting is a map script made by a friend of mine called Marintho. I actually need to see. Check to see something because I don't know that Marintho is in the. All right. So Mr. Oso is going up to the feudal age on 20 pop. This is telling me that he is going to feudal boom. He will probably build a town center on this big fat wood line here. But maybe not. Maybe he'll just do it inside the safety of his sea walls. We'll have to see. Rayz is getting loom now, and then he has feudal age queued up immediately behind it. He's going to build a barracks. So perhaps a Byzantine scout build? I don't know. This does not make much sense to me. But we'll see more as the game progresses. We'll find out. Oh, all right. Is this going to be some kind of tower rush? Byzantine tower plus man-at-arms, maybe? He does have... He's going out to gold now. This is man-at-arms towers, I think. I don't know. We're going to have to watch this. I don't see any... Okay, there's the town center. There is the town center. That town center could be a mistake. See if he starts to build it. I don't see any units being created from this barracks. Usually, if you're going to go man-at-arms towers, you make the militia in the Dark Age, and then you upgrade them to man-at-arms when you hit the feudal age. But that hasn't happened here. Feudal age is here. Archery range is coming up. This is a forward range. So maybe he's going to make towers and archers. And it's just going to be that. Towers, archers, and villagers. I should be taking notes. Yep, there it is. So the tower's going to go up. The tower... so Rayz will not be able to deny this town center. But he will be able to deny this part of this wood line here and these berries. So Mr. Oso coming in with the scout. And we need a couple villagers here attacking this. Yeah, there you go. Now the villagers can still go around. And the tower goes up. So he's able to buy himself enough time. And the villagers are going to attack the seawall now. The seawall will go down pretty quick. They're not very powerful. And he's got an archer out here to help. He needs to pull the scout back because the villager actually does more damage to the seawall. And Mr. Oso, he hasn't really responded too much other than to abandon these berries and this wood line, I guess. But in terms of like a military response, we haven't seen anything. Okay, he's gonna wall things off now. Rayz is continuing to make archers. Here he comes. These archers are in. They don't have fletching because you know, economy things. Can't afford it yet. Oh, don't want to take too much town center arrow fire. There we go. All right, so probably another, I think another tower here would be warranted. Now, I'd build it right up on the berries, though. It makes sense why he's building it here, though, because Mr. Oso is building a defensive tower. And maybe he could, well, he can't really get over here on the other side, can he? I'm sure he would love to. Okay, that is getting walled there. Tower Rush could be particularly devastating against humans because humans cannot make stone walls. So he's going to try to get in this way, tower some more gold. So where is Mr. Oso going to take gold long term? Oh, what did he do that for? Pulling back. What in the world? Why is Rayz battering down this other wall segment? I don't get this right here. I don't understand that. He can already get in and out. How's his economy doing? So, Mr. Oso has 1 minute and 27 seconds of town center idle time. Rayz has 15. So he's going to try to go down on this stone here. Rayz giving him a little peck, saying, I'm paying attention. So this tower is simply garrisoned and with the archers. And that gives, I mean, unless Mr. Oso wants to idle 5 villagers to basically be able to shoot this tower back with as much potency, he pretty much has to let this go. And once this tower goes down, Rayz can batter his way further into the base. Yeah, there's another. He decides it's too close to the town center, so he's going to batter his way through this palisade wall. Meanwhile, Mr. Oso is just trying to keep busy, trying to keep both of his town centers working. We'll see if Rayz can deal enough economic damage. So this house has some health on it. Another tower getting forced down. And I think Rayz will not be able to go in this way. You know, if I were Rayz, I would be content with going around this way, honestly. Because, think about it, your opponent can't really take gold. If you deny this gold and this gold, where's Mr. Oso going to take gold? He'd have to come all the way out here. So we're not seeing any naval aggression, really, on this map at all, which I love. We got a second tower coming here as Rayz decides to make another tower and make some more. Okay, can this tower reach? It looks like this tower can reach this tower. He's going to make some more archers, and he's going to garrison those archers in this tower. And then he's going to repair it, so he's going to have 2 towers shooting here. And Mr. Oso is basically going to have to keep building towers, or he'll be stuck. The good news for Mr. Oso is that he does seem to have a lot going on over here in areas that Rayz cannot reach. This tower is attempted, but fails. Leaves 1 villager behind to repair it. And what's going on now? Maybe Rayz is satisfied with the damage done? No, he's building a house. I thought he was sending those villagers home. Okay, so Mr. Oso is getting fletching now. Not having it is a big disadvantage for this tower war. This getting fletching will enable him to range this villager here who is repairing the tower. He's trying to get this tower up, but these towers are paying attention. And I think Mr. Oso is just going to shoot it down. Or, sorry, Rayz is just going to shoot this down so he doesn't have to keep on paying attention to retask it. Yeah, and that's what he does. What do we got? We got a siege workshop here. Interesting. So what Rayz needs to do is he needs to build a row of stone walls. Surround the towers with stone walls. We've got another tower coming up here. But I honestly don't think Rayz intends to invest much more in this tower rush. He seems to be massing food up to go up to the next stage. So now he's going to come out here and take gold. Rayz did not try to go around to deny that gold, so this is still a legal gold collections spot. Benu Rethor says, hello there. Is it live or is it pre-recorded? These are recordings that I'm casting. The matches have already happened. Unfortunately, DE really struggles with live matches. So Rayz is walling in the base of his tower with this villager to prevent a ram from doing any more damage. Okay, Rayz is on his way up to the castle age, and that will be very tough for MrOso to deal with. But MrOso has 61 villagers to Rayz's 40. So he has a huge economy bonus. But we'll see if he can keep it. Rayz's score suggests that he's ahead, and this is even after he's clicked up. MrOso is taking gold now. He's going to be able to click up to the castle age soon. Might have to sell some resources. Yeah, Rayz is going to tower this right here. Try to deny his opponent the opportunity. But MrOso is paying attention, and he decides to build his own tower here. So the outpost goes up. Rayz needs to bail on this tower. Don't build this, man. Don't build this. Yeah, he's going to bail. Honestly, I would see if you can get a nice big fat Byzantine castle in the front, or maybe some monks and some mangonels. Guard tower upgrade could be really good if you're Rayz. Actually, is Rayz just going to at fast imp? He's almost got the resources to go fast imp. He has a stable here. He reaches castle age, and now what happens? He's got a couple spearmen working on that battering ram. What does Rayz do with this castle age? Okay, he's going to make a knight. That knight could actually come over here and be super annoying. Could chisel away at these walls. Here comes the battering ram. But these villagers and this knight are paying attention. The knight is probably more so intended just to keep battering rams off of these towers. I want to see a university. I don't know that we will. But my opinion is that Rayz should just go all in here. He should be like, I'm Byzantines, man. My Imperial Age is cheaper. My towers are better. I'm just going to kill you. But he's going to add a second town center. Alright, so here's the knight. The knight is in here picking on these villagers. Villagers fight back. And they're going to pull back. That's a win for Rayz. Unless his knight dies to the town center arrow fire. The knight might as well be dead, though. It's only got 3 HP, so a couple hits from some villagers, and it's gone. So we have knights being spammed by MrOso. This is where Rayz needs to have, like, 4 monks. If you have 4 monks, you basically are unstoppable here. If you build a university and you get guard tower, you are much harder to deal with. But instead, he's going to try to outboom the Cumans, who are already 25 villagers ahead of him. And I think that that is a mistake. He has simply not done enough damage. He's not denied enough resources. He's denied a gold and some part of a wood line, and that's it. So you really need to go in and you really need to finish the deal here. Here comes a castle for MrOso. A defensive castle. And could you imagine if these 3 camels and this knight were like Imperial Age and Rayz was on his way up to Imp right now? Maybe he gets a castle up and then he gets Imperial Age and then he makes monks and trebuchets. Oh, it would be so good. It'd be so good. It'd be classic Byzantines play. But he must have a plan. He is a much better player than I am, so he knows what he's doing. Rayz floating a lot of resources. I am not sure what the goal is there. This tower is going to go down. He's got archers in the other towers. MrOso is going to build a town center out here. And he's going to have access to another gold and another stone. Market going up for Rayz. Okay, there we go. That explains it. So now we're going to see a castle drop and Imperial Age. Maybe he's going to build a castle and go Imperial Age or something. I don't really know. But dang, that would be entertaining. That's probably the best thing that he could do right now. Okay, yeah, there's the university. And he's got a monastery out here. He doesn't have the military to fight Mr. Oso right now, but he has the buildings to go up. So he needs to go up as soon as this university is built. He'll click up and he'll build a forward castle somewhere. And the goal will just be to keep that castle alive. You can see that he's deleting stuff. So probably it will be in here somewhere. Nope, it's going to be right here. He wants to get this castle up. He wants to add more villagers to the castle construction, but a lack of monks here caused him to lose this this fight. I think this castle will still go up. If this castle is denied, it will be GG. So we got cheap Byzantine camels here, but they're heavily outnumbered. Captaram research coming in from Mr. Oso. These Captarams are rolling their way over to the castle. This gate gets deleted so that he can send more villagers. And it looks like he's kind of heavily invested in camels here. He's got 3 stables pumping out camels, Rayz does. Just to buy himself some time. We got a monk coming out. Monk needs to get some conversions. Byzantine monks have insane healing rate, although the monk fails to get a conversion. And Mr. Oso is just spamming from so many stables. Cuman stables are very cheap. He is able to intercept these rams with his camels. I don't think he ever went imp. Nope, he never went imp. Mr. Oso is in here first. He's towering the wood line. He's collecting relics. And I think Rayz's window of opportunity is closed to be able to win the game. I think there was a chance when he reached Castle Age, if he had gone into monks and siege. Instead of he made some weird choices. But he does have a big camel army now. Rayz is out here taking stone. Better hope that Mr. Oso does not find it. Okay, Rayz is looking like he's gonna try to buy his way up pretty soon. He's got an enemy army here. He knows about it. Walls that in. Opponent is on his way up to the Imperial Age with 100 villagers. And Rayz needs to sell a little bit of food and click up, and that's what he does. To go to the Imperial Age because he wants trebuchets. If he can somehow get like good trebuchets in front of this castle, with these camels supporting them, protecting them, he still has a small shot. But I think it's just too late. I think Mr. Oso just has too much stuff. The Tower Rush did not do enough damage. He was able to deny this gold, but his opponent just took the one in the back because he didn't wrap around. And now his opponent is taking this gold because the towers are gone. This could be a good trap, though. If he can trap this army, kill it with his camels. There we go. So Mr. Oso is nearly Imperial Age. What kind of upgrades are on these camels? They have the first armor. They do not have the second. Okay, he hits Imperial Age. Castle coming up in the middle. This castle will have a hill advantage over the Byzantine castle. which is kind of a disaster. The good news is that this castle will not really have the room to deploy trebuchets. So Mr. Oso is teching into halberdier now. He needs these halberdiers in order to deal with the camels. Rayz has the pikeman upgrade. Renoir YT says hello. Welcome, Renoir. We are casting Rayz versus Mr. Oso. This is the 4th game in their set, and it is for the Blue Carbon Cup, round of 16. I'm torn, because I want as many games as possible. So in that sense, I want Mr. Oso to win. But I love Byzantines. So in that sense, I want Rayz to win. This market is under attack. Okay, I guess Rayz just decided to come out here and chop this wood instead. Out of range of the tower. And trebuchets are being created. Both of these castles are making trebuchets for the purpose of pressuring this castle and removing this castle. This castle is very important to these camels. Castles can kill a lot of halberdiers. Now, in order to contest, really, to win a trebuchet battle in these circumstances, you need chemistry so that you can make bombard cannons. And that is indeed what Rayz is doing. This is a Byzantine castle, and it has extra health, but it's still at a disadvantage in my opinion. So I just don't know if he's going to be able to pull it together. These camels are looking for a way in, but can't find one. And Mr. Oso is victorious. Rayz calls the GG. Oh, it's because these knights got in on his wood line. Ouch. So Mr. Oso tying it up 2-2. Always a shame to see the Byzantines go down. Not like this, but that means that we're going to get a 5th game, guys, and that's awesome. So the last game is going to be on Lagoon. This game will decide who moves forward in the Blue Carbon Cup. These players are pretty tough players. They're about 2.2k, so they're equally matched. And let's see what happens. So we've got Rayz as the Italians in the blue. He's kind of on the left-hand side of the map at 9 o'clock. And then we have Mr. Oso as the gray Vikings. It's about 2:30, between 2 and 3 o'clock, I would say. So on this map, your boars are actually crocodiles, which is kind of interesting. Let's see if we can find them. Here they are. So this guy right here may look like a crocodile, but he's really fat. He has 340 food on him. So hopefully the players know that. It'd be kind of awkward if they didn't. This is Rayz's final home map. So we played both of Mr. Oso's home maps, and we're playing Rayz's home map now. Who Coyotel22 says, I already watched this. If I remember correctly, neither one of them got their crocodiles. That's funny, despite the fact that it was their home map. Okay, so we have crocodiles there, but according to Coyotel22, neither of them take their crocodiles because they think that it's a predator and not a boar, which is pretty funny. So it must be a like a final game, like deciding match jitters. Like you're like, oh my gosh, if I lose this, I'm out of the Blue Carbon Cup. So I better make sure that I win, and I better stay focused. I believe it's 2 crocodiles. So we've got Mr. Oso here, and he has an excuse because this isn't his home map. So he hasn't studied this map and determined that he wants to play on it. So he's got his 2 crocodiles. And let's see, Rayz has his crocodile here, and where's his other crocodile? Aren't they? They are next to the outposts, aren't they? Where's the other one? Let me know if I missed it, you guys. I see one underneath this outpost. Oh, here's the other one. Okay. It's right here. This is actually a pretty bad spot for a boar, just in general. This is actually really bad for a boar. You guys should do something about that, hoo-hoo. There's not much you can do. Maybe there's a way to separate this wood line or something, or bring the boars in a little bit closer, or have them avoid the forest by a little bit more, something like that. Okay, so Rayz has not gotten either of his boars, and neither has MrOso, as far as we can tell. Now, what would be really funny is if Rayz like built a mill right here, and then got, you know, like the crocodile isn't going to attack you because it's actually a boar that just looks like a crocodile. So I would think that if you built your mill here and you had villagers working on the berries and you noticed that this crocodile didn't attack them, I would think that that would make you suspicious. You would be like, huh, wait a second. And then you could click on it and you see that it has 340 food attached to it. Well, we'll see what the players do here. Maybe Rayz is looking at it from the perspective of he's got a really good plan for fish booming in the center. But this has been a pretty good set so far, I've got to say. I think, you know, a couple of the games may have ended a little bit early. And it was kind of unfortunate for Rayz that he sort of gave away the third game, I think, with a disastrous Dark Age. But last game was pretty fun. So they are massacring these geese here. One, still two crocodiles, and two crocodiles still. Maybe the map is not optimized in all aspects. Yes, because before it was played as a 2 TC start version in player size and in 2v2 in 4 size. Ah, okay. So it was reformatted and adapted for the purposes of the Blue Carbon Cup. Okay, they've both clicked up. They have very similar timings. Rayz is a little bit ahead of MrOso because Italians have a cheaper feudal age, so he probably got the food a little bit faster. You can see that these players are flexing. Rayz has clicked up without taking either of his boar. And let's check MrOso. MrOso has not taken either of his boar either. The boar look like crocodiles, but they behave like boars and have the same food as boars. So that is pretty funny. This is Rayz's home map, and he's just like, I don't need that. I don't need that 680 food. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I can't just win, you know. Maybe that's the attitude. It's not good enough to just beat MrOso. You know, you have to do it with a huge handicap. You have to do it with an arm tied behind your back. You have to give up that 680 food. So Rayz he's just so confident in this home map, and he's got just an excellent strategy. He's so confident in his strategy and in his build that he doesn't need to take those boars. The script was not changed. So maybe that it just doesn't scale for 1v1 as well. Oh, we got a fight. Now, cleverly, Rayz is making sure that he's got his villager walled in here. And we have ourselves a little scout fight. They're going to go and dance around high ground, try to get an advantage. Rayz, I don't know. I would just run back to your town center. It looks like he can't win that even with a hill advantage. Nah, don't worry. Don't do it. Don't do it, Rayz. One more hit and your scout will die. He has to bring his scout into the town center. And at that point, MrOso decides to give up. See, the first game, they were all about those boars. Like, they were laming the crap out of each other. And now they just don't care. It's like another day, another trend, another fad, another fashion. They're just not interested in the boars. They probably simply don't know. And here we go with the galley micro again. We saw this a lot on Water Nomad. This scout is looking to harass this villager, but the scout is low health, so the villager will be fine. And Rayz taking some free damage here. 3 against 2. Fletching coming in for MrOso. Viking eco is no joke. Vikings have pretty good economy, especially in feudal age because they get that free wheelbarrow. What do you guys think about the free wheelbarrow and free handcart? Do you guys think that that's fair? Or did you guys like the original Age of Kings where it was just wheelbarrow? And the same thing for Byzantines too, like it was just free town watch. But they kind of made the bonuses a little bit more extreme, I feel. in many respects. Let me know what you guys think. I feel like the bonuses for Age of Empires have gotten more extreme throughout the years. But some of them have been nerfed. I guess the Franks have been nerfed. I heard something about hand cannoneers. They used to be a lot more powerful than they are now. But the Civ-specific bonuses seem to have gotten more extreme. For the most part. I know, somebody's going to argue about the Franks. Vikings used to have cheaper docks and ships than they have now. Really? I did not know that. Okay, so we basically just have an arms race here for the galleys. Both players are trying to build as many docks as they can to protect 3 freaking fishing ships in the middle. Because at this level, 3 fishing ships is like the game. The percentages were reduced. All right, let's see what we have here. So we have 8 versus 7. So every time somebody adds another couple of galleys, the other player pulls back. And then the other player sees that the other player has added more galleys, and then they pull back. And it's just like a pendulum swinging back and forth. $10 military for each. Rayz with 32 villagers versus MrOso's 35. And Rayz still has not taken his boar. MrOso still has not taken his boar. So Huquidal, is it like written in plain English that the boars look like crocodiles on this map? Is it written somewhere in plain English that that is the case? I think we're usually pretty good about, at least we've gotten better about documenting things. Okay, they both lose a ship. Rayz losing another ship. Okay, MrOso losing another ship. He's trying to pick off the weak one, and he succeeds, actually. So this could be Rayz's opportunity. They both have fletching. Rayz would like nothing more than to get in here and pick off some fishing ships, but he has to be careful because MrOso still has a big military. It's 10 ships versus 12, so it's still close. In the map description, that's what I thought. All right, well, at the risk of sounding biased then, I'm going to say that I'm rooting for MrOso to win this one. Just because I think if you're going to have a map as a home map, you should probably know that you get some boars on it. Like, you should understand the map well enough to know where your boars are. And for MrOso, he has an excuse because it's not his home map. But for Rayz, I think it just comes down to maybe not reading it. Just galley fights in the middle. Yeah, they love their galley micro, don't they? You like it if somebody tries something sneaky. Well, who knows? Maybe we'll see something sneaky soon. If not in this set, maybe eventually. But yeah, these players, and we saw this in the Water Lagoon match, these players seem to love their galley micro. I was at least expecting in the Water Nomad for like somebody to open, maybe making a couple fire ships. But that neither one want to spend any time like making anything other than galleys to get the maximum size galleys here. And MrOso is on his way up to the Castle Age. That could be a disaster for Rayz. That could lead to more advanced ships, more advanced range upgrades. Rayz with 23 ships versus 19. So MrOso still mostly keeping up in ship production. We got 3 docks versus 5 docks. Although I seriously doubt MrOso is producing from all of them. No, he's not. He's producing from 4 at best. There once was a game where someone did not go for the middle, but did Trush plus galleys on the outside. I love that. That sounds very creative. Doesn't necessarily mean that they won. Okay, so Rayz has clicked up, and this is the part where he needs to, like, he just needs to fight. He needs to fight right now, and he knows that. He's diving in. He needs to get these numbers down before they have a huge advantage. And just try to buy himself as much time as possible. He could maybe try to snipe fish, but I think it's just better if he just goes after the galleys. War galley upgrade is in. Now he needs to run, but I don't think he's going to be able to get away. So he just tries to do as much damage as possible, and basically he has 1 minute. The good news is he's got, what, 4 fishing ships, so out of 44 villagers, so it's like 10% of his economy, if that, is on water. But this is bad news for him. So the good news is that these ships are kind of a sunk cost, right? If I'm Rayz at this point, I'm just like, I'm not going to catch up. I should invest into like a push on the outside and on the outside alone and see if I can even the odds out. University coming up from MrOso. Like, what if Rayz shows up with knights or something? Like, could you imagine? Could you imagine if Rayz had like 6 knights on this wood line? That could be a good way to even it out, because these ships cannot be used to secure wood to make more ships. So if you want to do something with land units out here, you can. But I just don't know. We've seen Rayz get Castle Age. Is he going to invest anything more in ships? No. All right, he has conceded the middle. He's just kind of wasting his opponent's time and trying to take out some fishing ships. That's what it looks like. And, yep, knights. He's got 1 knight somewhere. And is he going to make any more knights? I wouldn't boom. I would just assume that your opponent is booming and trying to get a big eco lead. And I make knights with armor. I always wonder why, if someone doesn't wall here. It's quite easy, and on open maps like Arabia, most players wall. Yeah, that's true. I think it's because they don't want to spend the wood to wall. They feel that the wood would be better spent securing the middle and getting all that free food from the fish. That's not a huge amount of fish. All right, he's going to build a second town center. I don't know that I agree with that. I mean, could you imagine 2 knights here? 2 knights. That's all you need right here. That would be devastating. And I think, all right, MrOso is just about completing his lumber chopping operations here, and he's going to chop lumber over here, which makes a lot more sense. So he's got all this investment now, and his opponent is no longer here. His opponent does not care about the middle anymore. So where are these knights? We got 2 going up this way. Uh-oh, don't take free damage. Don't take free damage. There's no reason to take free damage to these war galleys. Okay, and his opponent sees them coming, which is another reason. That's actually the big reason not to do that. What you needed to do is you needed to run his knights around back here where the galleys couldn't see them. It's a little bit longer, but if your opponent has no warning... See, now one of these knights is even targeted for conversion by this monk. Yeah, I don't see what Rayz can do at this point. He won the first 2 games. He came off. He had a very strong opening, but MrOso seems to be outlasting him. What's the plan? A monastery, another town, a university. Okay. Mr. Oso is going to solidify his hold of the central area. Luckily for Rayz, these ships cannot travel out here. Oops, where'd the knights go? The knights are waiting out here. I guess they're just going to be used to secure relics. Mr. Oso looking for relics, perhaps? There's a relic here, and there's a relic over here. So what's the plan? Surely he must know of those relics. No, actually, he did not find either one. That's funny. He just barely misses this relic, and he just barely misses this relic up here. Poor Mr. Oso here. There's literally a relic right here. Oh, sad times. He's on his way up to the Imperial Age, though. They both are. Is he going to lose this monk? Yes. Rayz is going to find this monk. This is a nice little win for him. He's going to need that. So Mr. Oso found this relic over here. Let us see. Nope, Mr. Oso does not know about that relic location. He does know about this relic here. That is within his vision. But this one is sadly missed. Oh, okay. So, Rayz is docking the inside. There's no fish in here, but you could do this for military purposes. And we're gonna see the Italians push through and go a bunch of ships land military against this. There is a monk somewhere going after this knight. I don't see where the monk was, but just forcing Mr. Oso to react. He's going to have to build a castle here. I don't agree with this castle. I think this is a foolish castle. There's nothing stopping Rayz from coming back. I don't know where that one monk is. I guess if Rayz knew that this castle is going up here, he would try to stop it. He's going to come back, and I would 100% try to stop this. It's worth losing a knight to conversion. Oh, but he doesn't get there in time. All right, so Mr. Oso is trying to go longboats. Okay, longboats, and we've got Italian fire ships, and we have a castle coming up here for Mr. Oso, or for Rayz, sorry. Mr. Oso is retreating, and I guess he's got to go longboats further back here. He is going to go snag that relic. I agree, though. Walling would make a lot of sense. Rayz is sort of walling here. He could house wall at least. In general, I'm quite happy about the Lagoon game so far. It's the second map I ever made, and it has turned out to be fairly balanced and competitive. I agree. I think this is a good map. I'm curious how you got it so that players could like build town centers on this beach right here. That is pretty cool. The town center does not seem to care that there's a beach transition here. Whenever I have a map, you know, that people have to build town centers on, they can never seem to build on the beach terrain. But that's a nice feature. All right, so we got the Italian fast fire ships charging. Charge! And Mr. Oso is collecting his stuff. We're going to see a ton of longship micro. And these fire ships are going to attack the stone wall. Don't ask me how fire ships are able to damage stone walls. I'm not really sure. But he needs to just come back here on this side and burninate those villagers. Yeah, there we go. Fast fire ships are very powerful. They are more powerful than fire ships by a lot. They have good pierce armor. This castle, though, is going to do work against these fire ships. Rayz is not going to want to. Yeah, he's not going to want to go underneath that castle. And if Rayz can use these fire ships to like push castles along the edge, he can still stand a chance. It's 86 villagers to 113. But otherwise, if he doesn't like try to nail down the map with stone, then his opponent will just micro launch ships all day, and he'll just be bleeding. He'll just be bleeding fire ships. It'll be so annoying. I do think this castle is going to go up. These fire ships cannot seem to figure out how to get around. All right, he needs to pull this cannon galleon back out of range of the castle. Oh, he got significantly damaged. He's going to have to repair that. He needs to remass. Rayz still wants to go galleons. These guys love their galleons. Their arrow ships. The fire ships are there just to give him time, basically. The Vikings are investing in elite cannon galleon. I think it's because it's not actual beach, but unsaleable beach. On real beaches, you can only build walls. Well, here's the thing. On real beaches are what is required to build docks. So if this were not a real beach, then you would not be able to build a dock here, but I'm pretty sure that you can. Effect amount, set attribute, building class, attribute, terrain ID 10. Okay. Fire ships are chasing these longboats away. And we have Italian galleons. Italian galleon. Set attribute, dock, attribute, terrain ID 6. But how do you get the smooth transition between the mangrove shallows and the fake beach, the unsaleable beach, in that case? Wouldn't it force like a real beach to occur? So the Italians are getting shipwright here, and we see a big ship battle. It's going to be happening pretty soon. Longboats, though. Ugh, longboats. They're so annoying. Longboats, because they fire so many extra arrows, they are very good against ships with high amounts of pierce armor, like fire ships. Okay, and those cannon galleons are going to go down. But I do agree. I think that galleons are the right thing to do if you're not going to stone push the sides. Galleons are powerful. The fire ships could kind of be like a meat shield in front of these galleons. So the galleons can still do their shooting. Alright, this is smart. I like this castle. But remember, guys, I'm rooting for MrOso here because I don't think that either of them have taken their boar yet. Although, now it looks like Rayz has finally taken his boar. And we missed it. Okay, I think they finally did take their boar. But they didn't take it in Dark Age. Maybe you need to look at the script later. I think I might. I had some help from Zetnus and the Mad Catter when I created and updated the map in 2020 to 2022. Those longboats, they're so annoying. But this castle will go up. I think this cannon galleon can reach it, which is unfortunate. Oh, maybe not. It's a little far. Now, these ships could come around here. But this castle will be a big help. He needs more fire ships to absorb shots. Cannon galleons. When I first created it, I didn't know much about what I was actually doing. I started with combining aspects of 2 other scripts. So this trebuchet is taking a little bit of fire. Here come the fire ships. They're tanking arrows from the longboats, but there's just so many longboats now. Do onagers work against longboats? I'm just curious. Wants to keep this castle up. This castle is kind of necessary in order to be able to push. I think Rayz is running out of gas. think these longboats are just too much for him. Oh, castle went up here. And he's even got a dock here. He's bleeding units out of that dock. Castle goes down. Villagers are forced to flee. And there is a very oppressive mass of 40 longboats, essentially. Let's see, count how many there are. 47. How do you deal with that? They stack so well, too. You know, maybe you can you garrison demolition ships inside of castles? Demolition ships could be good based on how well these longboats are stacking. There's just too many longboats here. He's going to try to repair it, but I don't know. Do you mix in some hussars or something just because you got extra food? He probably doesn't have the wood to build all the stables that he needs or get the upgrades with gold. Just desperately. This is the game match here. He's using the market. He's repurposing that food into resources, but there's just this critical mass of longboats, and he calls the GG. Wow. So Mr. Oso with the reverse sweep here. He's going to move on into the Blue Carbon Cup. And Rayz is eliminated. It was a fun set. I was glad to see that it went 5 games. And, you know, it could have been different. It could have been different. Rayz looked like he was going to totally dominate at the end of the second game. I thought for sure Mr. Oso would be eliminated. But Mr. Oso with the comeback. The comeback kid. So GG, well played. Thank you to the players for taking part. And I look forward to casting the next set. He moves to the losers bracket. Ah, okay, he's not eliminated. I'm not sure what the losers bracket means. Maybe because it's double elimination. I'll have to look in and see whether or not I'm going to be casting those. How many more games it would add. I really need to prioritize some other stuff. So I don't know how much casting I want to do. But if it's not too many games, then it would be fine. But if it's the same number, that could be tough. May not be able to cast all of that. So Rayz is going to move to the loser bracket. And he's going to have, it sounds like, a second chance. So perhaps we'll see more of Rayz in the future. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's been fun. And I look forward to seeing you again soon.